What's up, folks? I'm Dwayne,
I'm Alicia.
and this is Blackboard Gaming, where we teach you about all these great board games that are out there.
Waiting to be played by you and yours.
I'm a simple man, don't wanna complicate ya. Complication.
Hey, everybody.
So, originally, today's video was going to be on another topic. But last week, I was watching Rollin' Reggie, which is probably one of my favorite YouTube content creators. He really loves his board games, and he speaks passionately about them. And we have been involved in his recent shenanigans.
Tag, you're it.
Once again, we have been tagged by Rollin' Reggie to participate in his mid-year board game challenge.
Now, Reggie has been doing this for a few years now.
3 years.
3 years? Okay. And what he does is he asks a number of questions in the middle of the year to about board games that we have played throughout this year and how we feel about them. And this time he's asked 8 questions with a bonus question.
Okay.
All right. So without wasting any time, we're going to get right into answering those questions. So I got my list right here. And you get to go first.
Of course.
All right. So the first question is, what is your favorite board game so far this year?
All right. So I'm going to say Tea Garden. One of the reasons I like Tea Garden is it has the right level of complexity for me. It's not overly simple, but it's not a brain burner. I like the theme, and I do like the aesthetics. I love the way you have a lot of choices to make. You have action selection, which is something I love. But also you have a lot of way to score points, which is something I love. So it's a strategic game. It requires some planning and thought, but it's not a brain burner. So it's just the right level of complexity for me.
Yeah, and it's a cozy game. She loves the theme, Now, I'm going to be honest. I was feeling like I was kind of on a high because last week we played it at our Tuesday night board game, and I taught a 4-player game and Lisa played, and she did very, very well.
I came in second. He still won.
Yeah, I still won, but it wasn't by much. And I didn't help her, cause like sometimes when I'm teaching Alicia a game, I'm like giving her options or whatever. This time, I didn't do anything. I just let her play her game. And she did very, very well.
I'm going to be honest. I was surprised at how well I did. But again, I think one of the beauties of this modern board game hobby is it's like most other things. Once you play enough games, even if you're introduced to a new game, you are familiar enough with the mechanics and you're familiar enough with how these games work that you kind of get the hang of it. And I think that's where I'm at now.
Yeah, I'm thinking you getting there. And I think the fact that it's a theme, we are growing tea leaves and all that, I think that's what really helped.
Honestly, anytime the theme resonates with me, that helps.
Yeah, okay. Well, my favorite game that I played this year is this game right here. And I've been having so much fun with it. And that is Come Together. Now, I talked about this in my Grail video. And I got a copy of it. And I have been just immersed in the puzzle that this game provides. It's pretty much set in the 1960s. You are doing an outdoor music festival, kind of like Woodstock, and pretty much you're sending out your work. It's a worker placement game. So this is like in one of my favorite worker placement games right now. And you are sending out your guys to your volunteers in order to gain these cards. The thing is, when you send them out, you don't get the card right away. You just making sure you're in that spot, because when somebody activates it, you gain your volunteer. Your volunteer goes to the tour bus because they tired and exhausted. But depending on how many workers are there, you get to move up these different tracks, like the radio track, television, your advertisement, newspaper, and all that. And you are trying to gain more points, getting bonuses. And you got to make sure that you have, like, you got the stages for the acts. You got the acts. I love the fact that the acts are named after, like, plays on other board games. And you got to make sure that you have the right meeples to go to these acts. So there's certain acts that attract a specific meeple. And you got to make sure the stage is built, and you got to make sure there's tent. Like outdoor festivals, people camp out. So you got to make sure you got the camping space for them to stay overnight. And it's just so much going on in this game. And I played it, like, I've just been playing it solo, you know, and I finally beat the solo mode. So I'm happy. So yeah, come together. That's my favorite game so far this year. All right, so the next question: what is your most played board game?
All right, this year the game I have played the most is actually Flip 7.
It's over there on the other side. Yeah,
Flip 7. So the we have introduced this quite a bit at
I'm keeping it in. She had it upside down.
We have introduced this quite a bit at board game meetups. We went to a graduation open house. We introduced it. We even had a game day at our church, and we introduced it. So this is the game I have played the most.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I've been playing this a lot. This will probably be my third most played game.
Okay.
You know, I want to say it's like third or second, and I'll explain that when I get to, you know, my choice. But Flip 7 is a game that you could just introduce to anybody new. This game will bring somebody attention to modern board games. It's just really that easy. You're getting cards, and then you decide whether you're going to take a card or, you know, pass. And then you score points based on the numerical value of your cards. It's just blackjack, you know. And yeah, I can see you have been introducing this all over the place. Now, my most played game, and it's a solo game. And I have not, it has like different scenarios. I have not beaten the first scenario.
I think I know the game.
And I talked to Chad over at 25th Century Games, and he was like, he told, the designer said that the first scenario is actually the hardest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, why? You know, and that game is Conserva. Yeah, I've been having so much fun playing this game. And pretty much you're a fisherman, you have your fishing boat, you're trying to gain these get fish and clams, and you're selling them to the markets in order to get coins, but you don't want to overfish the waters. So you got to make sure you're leaving fish and clams because they're going to multiply. And so in the first scenario, you got to get 40, you got to end the game with $40. It's going to last like 7 days. You got to have $40, but you got to make sure there's at least 10 fish and 10 clams in the water. I've gotten so close, so close, but I have not done it yet. But I'm going to keep trying because I want to get through the other scenarios, you know. So this, now, like I say, this is my most played game. And then my second one, I want to say it's, like I said, we were playing Clank Legacy Season 2, The Darkest Magic. Mm-hmm. And we just finished it, and that was 12 scenarios. So I don't know if that counts as one big long play, or is it 12 games?
Okay.
You know, so that's why I said that's battling with my most played game with Flip 7.
Okay.
All right. So the next question is, what is your biggest surprise this year?
All right. I think I'm going to say Overpark.
I bet you I can tell why this was your biggest surprise.
Overpark is a really fun game. It's tile placement. It's puzzly. Probably the reason it's a surprise for me is because you're parking cars. Honestly, that is my least favorite thing to do in a car, y'all. So, but this game is a lot of fun.
Now, I picked this up at PAX last year, and when I've always attracted to the unique themes, that come out of Japan. This is Origami Games, and I was like, Lisa, we got to play Overpark. And I'm like, what is it about? I'm like, it's parking cars. And she just gave me this look. And I wanted her to know that parking cars is actually fun.
Fun, 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 fun.
It's fun in the game. not in real life.
So, yeah, I can see why this was a big surprise for you. And we've introduced this to a couple folks, and they liked it.
Yes.
Well, my biggest surprise is a game that we don't have. That, like I said, we went to Origins a week ago. We went there on a Sunday. And so there was a game that I've heard a lot about, but I've never, I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. And then we actually played it. We went to the CGE booth, and they had a Galaxy Trucker. And we played Galaxy Trucker.
That.
And I really loved that game. I mean, I think because it's real time. Part of the game is in real time where you're building your ship. And you can use the what they call them things, the sand timer.
Yes.
Yeah, but we didn't use the sand timer. We just, at the same time, all started grabbing parts of our ship. And you're trying to build your ship up in order to get, place a crew, getting your engines right, getting your guns, because in the latter half of the game, you're going to be flying through space.
Okay, I remember that game now. Okay, yeah.
And so depending where it's like the cars, we're going to be flipping cars, and that's going to tell you what's going on. Like if we find a derelict ship, or we we meet up with some bandits who's going to try to steal our cargo, and we might have to fight them or whatever. So we got to make sure we got our guns and our shields and all that.
And battery power.
Yes, and battery power. You got to make sure you manage your battery power. And I remember Amanda Panda, who was at Origins, she came by while we were playing it, and she was like, your ship's going to get destroyed. Amanda, I didn't win, but I kept all parts of my ship. And I really did like that game, So yeah, that's my choice. That was Galaxy Trucker.
Okay, I remember that now.
All right, so the next question is, what game's production has impressed you the most?
Alrighty. I'm gonna have to say Aqua Garden. Now, we haven't played this game.
We haven't even played this game yet.
But I'm telling you, when I saw the pieces, I was like, oh my goodness, those fish are so adorable. And I can't wait. I can't wait to play this game.
So here's the thing. We got a review copy of this. And this was actually a couple days ago. And she wasn't at home. So when I got the game, I opened it up and I saw the wooden fish pieces and the turtles and the sharks and all that. And I was like, Alicia's going to go gaga over this game. So I had to leave. She called me to let me know that she had made it home. I was like, you got to check out Aqua Garden, sitting on the table. You got to check it out. And I'm sitting there listening to her open the box over the phone. And all of a sudden, she's like, oh my God, look at these. And I'm like, I knew she was going to like it.
Yes, I am excited to try this game out just because of the way it looks. And he set up the board.
Yeah.
And that water, like those colors. Oh my goodness, I just can't wait.
Yeah, I know. And like I said, I figured that she was going to say this because I was like, you were just all in. Well, my best production that I'm impressed with this year is a game that's going to be my favorite game. Right now, it still stands as my favorite game of 2025. And that is this big boy right here. I'm just going to hold it up real quick. Galactic Cruise. Because you see how big this box is. It's blocking us both out. So in Galactic Cruise, we are running a cruise ship into space. And we're competing to be the next CEO because the CEO is retiring.
Okay.
You know, the current CEO. Now, the production value, they went all out. I mean, the screen printed meeples, the fact that you got a lanyard that is your ID to get into the building. There's a pamphlet like your workspace and you, which tells you how to put the stuff back into the box. And just everybody has their own like player tray that's shaped like a rocket ship that has all your pieces in there, you know, and it's just, they went all out.
Okay.
In making the production of this game. Now you got the art by Ian O'Toole, which you know him from Viva Lacerda games, and it's just, the game is beautiful.
So they paid attention to detail.
They paid attention to every little detail, and I'm like, you are in thematic, and this is like a heavy game, but once you play it, everything makes sense. It's
Okay.
procedural. You know, everything's going to make sense of what you're trying to do.
Okay.
So, and like I said, but we're just talking about the production value. Stellar.
Okay.
You know, okay. So, the next one
What
is,
number is this?
this is number 6.
Okay.
No, number 5.
Okay.
But we both know the answer. What has been your most reliable introductory board game?
All right. For me,
Bam!
no, that's for you.
For me. Oh, okay. What was yours?
Mine is Super Kawaii Pets.
I forgot to get that. I forgot.
I mean, I like Flip 7 too, but if I get to pick, I like to introduce Super Kawaii Pets. And the reason I like Super Kawaii Pets is I love Flip 7, but Flip 7 is a card game. And Super Kawaii Pets
Has a theme.
right. It's
It
basically
does have a theme.
It's basically cards too, but it's more thematic. So I feel more like I'm actually immersed in a game.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. And you have been introduced every time we go to the board game meetup. She's like, "You got Super Kawaii Pets," and I'm like, "Yes, I got." You know.
And it's a simple game, so people, it takes a minute, but people can catch on fast and get competitive fast too.
Oh, well, for me, let's go back. Flip 7. For me, it's just, I can show this to anybody and they love the game. And then people will see me the next time, they'll be like, what was the name of that game?
Yes.
What was the name of that game?
That's true. That's true. That's true.
So, yeah. All right. So now we're at number 6. What game do you want to get off our shelf of shame?
All right, y'all. If you have been watching our videos, you've heard him tell me at least 3 times how much I'm going to enjoy Flatiron. So you know what? Let's play it already.
Well, that I was planning on playing that next. You know, well, actually, I'll tell you more about it later on in the video. But you saw Aqua Garden, and you was like, we gotta play that.
It's Aqua Garden 2. I want to play that.
She's like, we gotta play that like right away.
But also
Flatiron.
Flatiron.
I think you're gonna really like Flatiron.
Okay.
Now-
That's the 4th time you said it.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure we're gonna get it this week.
Okay.
Okay, this week.
Okay.
Now, for me, it's a game that I've heard a lot about last year. It was on some people's top game of the year. Said it was very thematic. You know, I love theme, but I also like mechanics. And I picked up this game, and I punched it, and I have not played it yet. And that is Rock Hard 1977. I've got to get this game to the table.
Okay.
I've really got, because it's not a lot of music themed game, so I really got to get this game to the table.
Okay.
You know, just for the fact that in this game, you are a musician, you have a rock band, but you still got to go to work. So you're doing everything to make your rock band grow, but you can't keep going to work. You know, in the game. So eventually you have to let your job go.
Oh, wow.
And that's something we can't do in real life. You know, unless we got something else going on, you know. So, yeah, I really got to get this game to the table.
Okay.
Okay. So, next question. 7. which game from 10 years ago did you discover this year?
I don't know. I don't know when games come out. That's my
honestly, you played Galaxy Trucker.
I did play that.
We played the 2021 second edition.
Okay.
But that game actually came out in 2007.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, you did play Galaxy Trucker.
Okay. All right. All right.
Now, I knew about Galaxy Trucker early, but years ago. But I've never went to play it, so I'm not going to count that one, But I'm going to count a game that I just played a couple nights ago at my Friday night board game group. I had never heard of this game, and it was called Viceroy.
Okay. Not Viceroy?
You might say Viceroy. Maybe I am saying it wrong.
Okay.
I don't know. Viceroy.
That's Viceroy.
Viceroy? Okay. All right. So anyway, Viceroy came out in 2014.
Okay.
And mind you, I never heard of it.
Okay.
And so pretty much what we are doing is it's a bidding game. We got these gems. It's like 4 different colored gems. And we are bidding on these cards, and we're building like a pyramid tableau. And based on the level of the characters, so like there's characters like a knight or a witch or a wizard or a adventurer or whatever, based on where you place them in your pyramid, you're going to get that bonus. And some it might give you points. Some might give you scrolls, which you can score scrolls at the end of the game. You're also trying to match up. There's these colors. You're trying to match them up. That would give you gems. Oh, some of the bonus would just give you more gems because you got to make sure. And you're only bidding 1 gem. You're not saying I'm gonna build 2. I'm gonna bid 2 and you bid 3 or whatever. You're bidding 1 gem. But there's table talk. There's interaction. Like, hey, I want that blue card. And so people are able to say, well, I'll go for the yellow because they want to make sure they get a card, And then there's 2 phases, the bidding phase, and then the paying the gems in order to place the cards in your pyramid, And so I did enjoy it. I thought it was a really, really cool game,
Okay.
So that's my pick.
Okay.
All right, so number 8. We are at 8. And I don't think you have a dog in the fight in this game. Unless it's something I don't know. All right. Which anticipated releases are you most excited about this year?
I don't know. It's not that I don't care. I don't know what's coming out.
Yeah, she doesn't follow all the games that's coming out like I do. I'm always doing the research and just looking. So, but there is a couple games there's a couple of games I had kickstarted Neko Syndicate.
Oh, yeah, you've talked about that.
And then there's one called Grand Central Skyport from they're both from 25th Century Games.
Okay.
And Grand Central Skyport is a rondelle where you're sending your air balloons and you're docking your air balloons, but based on where you take the card representing the air balloon, it shifts stuff around. So there's an ever-changing thing in your tableau.
Okay.
Now, what really attracted me to this? Actually, the mechanics attracted me first, but then I was like, the Andrew Bosley effect.
I was about to say it must be the artist.
Yeah. So, and that one, and then there's one from Stonemaier called Vantage.
Okay.
Which is we are on a ship that have crashed on this planet, but we all go into we end up in different locations on the planet, and so we have to play the game based on our vantage point. So, like, other people don't know where you're at, you don't know where they're at, but you can describe it. Pretty much. You're saying, oh, I'm here. And what the whole point of the game is you're trying to find each other.
Okay, so y'all, I'm just saying, if we land on some place and we don't know where we at, we not breaking up. We staying together.
Well, no, we don't have a choice. We just broke up.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. We don't land together. It's like you go your way, I go my way. No, we crashed and I ended up way over there.
Okay.
And you ended up way over there.
Okay.
So now you trying to find out
Oh,
where
you
I'm
mean
at.
like the impact of the crash scattered us?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Oh, okay.
You
'cause
know,
I'm
we
like,
might have gotten to escape pods
Okay.
and before the ship crashed, and now we done landed in different locations.
Okay. Okay.
And so, yeah, I am interested in how that game
Okay,
plays.
okay.
You know, and then of course, we talked about in the travel inspired video, Positano.
Okay.
I'm still.
Yes.
It's coming.
Okay.
Now, we do have a bonus question, and you tell me. I don't know if you've given this any thought. What would be you consider our favorite video that we posted this year?
I haven't thought about it. For me, it would. You go first.
Well, okay, I'll go first. I would love to. I want to say our last video, our Wanderlust worthy board games, because I love playing those games that take you to another location. Because after that video, this week we have been playing Let's Go to Japan.
We have.
We done played it 3 times, and we just been having fun with it, seeing if we can beat our best score or whatever. It's just, and then after the game, we talk about where we went
We
to
actually
visit.
go and read like, okay, I did this. Yeah.
And like I said, some of the things give you stress. So like you stay in an expensive hotel. I don't want to stay in no expensive hotel, but
Y'all, that would stress him out for real.
you know, but at the same time, going to the place where you get to eat try all the different dishes, that's not stressful for me, you know. But anyway,
I don't know. I think that video would be a contender. Maybe my other one would be, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I hadn't thought about it.
okay, well, anyway, so that has been our version of the mid-year board game tag challenge, and thank you, Reggie, for always tagging us. This is a fun video to do. I
It is.
really do enjoy it, and I've been thinking of like, who else do I want to tag?
Are you gonna tag them in the comments or?
No, I want to tag Box Meeple.
Yes.
I definitely want to tag them. I would love to tag Foster the Meeple.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeff and Jamie at Foster the Meeple, and somebody, a Meeple family. I would love to see them do this.
Okay.
You know, and so those are my at the top, and I might tag some more in the description.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, this has been fun.
This has been fun.
Well, let us know in the comments how you enjoyed the video, if you played any of these games, how you feel about these games. Maybe give us your version of the tag challenge, you know. And if you like the contents of this video, feel free to hit the like button. Subscribe.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky.
I'm Dwayne.
I'm Alicia.
This has been Blackboard Gaming.
We will see you next time.